How's it going, boys? Hat-Trick Line back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing 5 players that are leaving the KHL for the NHL or possibly the AHL this year and will arrive in North America that could definitely or possibly become future stars. I made this list. It is a 5-player list of guys that are coming over that I could definitely see becoming the next comings of Evgeny Kuznetsov and Artemi Panarin, guys that came over later in their careers. Or they could also, some of them it's possible that they could become the next Vadim Shipachev, who came over, the big signing for Vegas. Everyone thought he was going to be their star player. I think he ended up playing 3 NHL games and then went back. So you never really know. It is a toss-up, but these are some guys that have the potential to become stars in North America. So first up on this list is a player you may have heard a lot about recently, and that is Nikita Gusev. Now, I started to make this video actually before he was traded, so I originally had the graphic for him on Vegas, had to go back and change it. But Nikita Gusev, the points leader last year in the KHL, he's 27 years old, was originally a Tampa Bay draft pick. Tampa Bay gave him up to Vegas in the expansion draft for protection on some of their players. And he was just traded and signed by the Devils. I believe it is a 2-year deal. But obviously when we look at the points here, he is a offensively dominant player. 65 assists, point per game in the KHL, 27. So, he's in his prime right now. This is the best kind of play, I think we're going to get out of him is the season he had last year. And possibly for the couple years he has with New Jersey. Plus 39 too. I know the KHL is different because the way their teams work over there, the good teams are really good and the bad teams are really bad. So the plus 39 doesn't say too much, but one of the best offensive players for the last couple years over there, and I think can come into a top 6 role with New Jersey this year. I believe he's going to kill it. I have no reason to believe that he is not the next coming of Artemi Panarin. Well, Panarin was a little younger, and Evgeny Kuznetsov, but I definitely think Gusev is going to make an offensive impact and maybe help New Jersey sway Taylor Hall's mind to stay a couple years. Next up is the youngest player I have on this list. He is 19 years old. This is Vitali Kratsov for the New York Rangers, a top pick a couple years ago in the draft. He's a right winger. Obviously, the points weren't that great this year, but he's a lot younger. Guys in the KHL, it's just like the NHL. Obviously, in his first couple years, he's playing against men, so he's not going to have the best offensive numbers. But this guy has the skill and the ability, I think, to maybe even be a Calder candidate next year. It really does depend where he's playing. I've seen some people say that Capo, Kakko, and Kratsov are both going to be candidates. I'm not really sure. I don't buy Kratsov being a Calder, but this guy is he is a point scorer. He can score, he can shoot, he can make plays. He is an all-around offensive juggernaut, and I think he's going to be a future top 6, maybe first-line star for the New York Rangers. I think he's going to have a nice career ahead in North America. Coming up next on the list is another New York Ranger. This is the goalie prospect for the Rangers, Igor Shestyorkin. He is 23, and obviously looking at that record, you can tell he's a pretty good goalie. He did play for a good KHL team, but 24-4 with a .953 save percentage and a .111 goals against average is no laughing matter. You'd never see stats like that in the NHL, but this is an interesting one because the Rangers do already have a backup in Grigoriev, and I don't think the King is ready to bow down from his starting role just yet. So I think Shestyorkin could start in the AHL. It's also interesting because he is both of the New York teams, the Rangers and the Islanders, have 2 very good young KHL goalie prospects. The Islanders have Ilya Sorokin, and the Rangers obviously have Shestyorkin here. I do believe Sorokin is the better of the 2, but Sorokin is a year or 2 away from joining the NHL. I believe he still wants to play over in Russia for now. I do see him playing in the NHL in the future, but Shestyorkin, I believe, has confirmed he is joining the Rangers next year. I believe he is signed and will probably be starting in the AHL or possibly NHL backup. But I think this guy is the future in net for the up-and-coming New York Rangers. Next up on the list, we have Ilya Mikheyev. He is the newest member of the Toronto Maple Leafs after signing in the offseason. He's 24, he is a left shot forward, and obviously Leafs fans are excited. He did have a great statistic season last year in the KHL, 45 points in 62 games, 20 apiece in goals and assists, and a plus 21. He is a pretty good looking player right now, and he's still got some time before he hits his prime, so you can consider him a prospect. He is going to be looking to make the Maple Leafs opening night roster, and I have a lot of Leafs fans that tell me that Mikheyev could make the opening night roster. When I see projected lineups for the Leafs on, whatever I'm looking at it at the time, a lot of people are saying Mikheyev, from Leafs fans' perspectives anyway, say Mikheyev can crack at least the 4th to 3rd line. I'm not 100% sure. I could see him starting in the AHL. Some guys just, when they come over from the KHL, no matter how good they do over there, they don't make the NHL right away. But Leafs fans are excited, and they should be. This is a guy I could see playing on the 3rd. Maybe a fringe 2nd line guy. I don't see him being a 1st liner in his career, but definitely an exciting player in Ilya Mikheyev for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And for the last spot on this list, I had a lot of options, but I ended up going with the LA Kings' newest acquisition, Nikolay Prokhorkin. He's a 25-year-old, he's a winger, but I have seen that he can also play center. He had very similar numbers to Mikheyev. He is a little older, 20 goals and 20 assists for 41 points, well, 21 assists, but did only play 41 games last year and had a plus 27, so he was a point per game in the time that he played over there last year. Obviously, LA struggled a lot last year. Their players weren't performing the way they needed them to, and their age is really catching up with them. So I think this player, Prokhorkin, is a lock, I think, to make the LA Kings opening night roster, in my opinion. I could see him playing a bottom 6 role for them right away. He could be sent down, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it, but with all the, the age coming and hitting the LA Kings and their players not performing the way, I could see this guy making the opening night lineup for the Kings. I could see him as like I said, a 4th or 3rd line player. If not center, then on the wing. I don't think he slips into the top 6, but I definitely think we will see this player in the NHL next season. And that is the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This is just my opinions. If you guys have, if any of your favorite teams have guys coming over from the KHL, let me know a little bit about them down in the comments below. I'm always interested to hear about these guys, whether you think they're a boom or a bust, whether you think they're going to be playing in the NHL or not. And as always, leave any suggestions for future videos down in the comments below. And with that said, boys, enjoy the rest of your day, have a good one, and see ya in the next one.